to keep them out of the back of the net.
58 goals is a program record in a single season. Bill Wilson's team has engineered a terrific turnaround. They scheduled tough in the non-conference. They started 2-7. They've ripped off 7 in a row. Ended up in the play-in against Robert Morris in Pittsburgh. Beat them by 5 on Wednesday. And they've stayed out east for this date with John Tillman's team, which was #1 in the RPI until conference championship weekend. They lost to Ohio State in the Big Ten championship. Buckeyes just fell to Notre Dame. Their season's over. And Cornell won the Ivy League, which is how the Big Red got the 1 seed. But these Terps, they're the Blue Bloods. This is year 100 of Maryland lacrosse, and they've never had a single losing season. The question for Maryland is, who's going to be the guy offensively? It's a balanced offensive attack. It's one of the best defenses in the country. They're built from the back, as they often are. Who's going to step up and be the hero as they try to make it back to championship weekend? '81 degrees and sunny here at CQ Stadium in College Park. Shea Keithler takes the opening draw for the Terps against Daniel Hames of Air Force. McNaney out of his goal as Keithler corrals it, gets it back to the experienced goalie. It'll be Terps ball to start. Maryland 5-1 in this building during the regular season. McNaney trying to clear it. Got to get it across with 60 seconds on the shot clock or before, and that's what they do. And they'll set up the offense. Mentioned the balance scoring. Their top 6 scorers, all between 25 and 38 points on the season. They don't have a Kalen Driggs, a guy who finishes the majority of their plays, Matt.
And look, I think that's going to be key for Maryland in this tournament. And to me, you have to look at Urksa. I mean, he's the best athlete for them on the offensive end. Really quick. And you'd love to see his game take the next step because he has all the ability in the world. That's
Urksa, number 10. They spin it around. That's their best finisher. It's Daniel Kelly picking a corner to start the scoring less than a minute in.
And this is what Maryland's offense is known for. Crisp passing, sound team fundamentals there. Urksa draws the Air Force defense. They get rotating, and then just lefty to the far post. Kelly just bombing it to get Maryland on the board here early in College Park.
I'm not sure he could have walked the ball to the net and placed it any more accurately than that.
As a shooter, when you rip it and it hits the cage and pops out, nothing feels better than that.
Next faceoff still up for grabs. A kick by Maryland, and it is scooped up by the Terps. And now on the clear, you can go over and back until the shot clock hits 60, and then your clear's got to be complete. And it is for Maryland. Under John Tillman, who's been the head coach for the last decade and a half, and even before then, discipline, a hallmark of this Maryland team. Playing great defense, not turning it over a lot. It's led to a ton of success. Here's Urksa. They'll continue to move it around. Matthew Keegan, 36, got the assist on Daniel Kelly's opening tally. Here comes Zach Whittier. Now Bryce Ford, a PLL draft pick in the 4th round.
And when you look at Maryland's offense, right, they're never going to be the team that's leading the country in scoring. They're too patient, they're too disciplined, they're too well coached. It's kind of why you see so many people with points, right? But to me, it's Urksa that's going to make this offense click. And right there, Eric Spanos, 6'5", 220 pounds. He's a big boy who's really come on, and again, uses his size and subtle shiftiness on the inside. Right here, right? Steps up the field, the quick face dodge, protects his stick, and it's that subtle extra step that opens up the cage and he puts it near side, right? You're gonna see it here, right? Face dodge, protects his stick, steps up the field, and it's the subtle move off the near post that allows Spanos to get the second goal in a minute 6 seconds for Maryland.
And for Spanos, that is career point number 100. So congratulations to the senior from Pottstown, Pennsylvania, the 64th Terp to hit 100 points in his Maryland career. Hames wins the faceoff for Air Force, and we'll get to see them set up shop offensively for the first time in this game more than 2 minutes in. He scored 14 against Robert Morris Wednesday. It's been a A busy travel week for Air Force. They've won 7 games in a row. They had to go to Florida to play the ASUN tournament. Knocked off Jacksonville, who was the 2 seed in the conference, and then Utah, the top seed. Beat the Utes 11-10. Earned themselves a spot in that play-in game. And went to Pittsburgh, and they're staying out east for this game here Sunday. Here's Luke Versansky on that top midfield line. Pass gets through everybody, and it'll be Maryland ball.
Versansky, a nice sweep to the middle of the field there. I'd love to see him take a shot there. It's really hard to feed the crease on that short pass sweeping to the middle. My old coach, Coach Starja, would say that's fool's gold. Trying to feed the crease from a dodging midi up top.
A great start for Maryland offensively. Goals from Kelly and Spanos. Urksa operating at the top, number 10. Here's Kelly. That's his sweet spot. Urksa step down. Missed it wide. On the backup, it's Jack Schultz, the freshman midi.
Maryland moves the ball in the perimeter as well as any team in the country, which is it's an interesting thing for them on the offensive end because they don't really have that person where you feel like you have to slide. Right? Some of the teams that move the ball the best, it's off of a dodge and then ball movement. Maryland passes people open as well as any team in the country. Them and Syracuse, to me, are the 2 teams that just, when you watch them play, the stick skills and the discipline and the accuracy are at the top of college lacrosse.
Making sure I think our shot clock is reason for the stoppage. An official over by the table. Yeah, making sure the shot clock is right. Joe Cieslak, Dan Bennett, Jason Bourne, our officials today. Yes, oh my God, it's Jason Bourne.
It's about to give the clock operator an ultimatum.
55. Put 55
See what I did there?
on the clock.
I got you. Yeah, okay. It's impressive. One of Air Force's top attackmen is Josh Yago, so I'll wait for some Shakespeare references from you. So we got the shot clock sorted. 55 to shoot for Maryland. And we'll get to watch this Terps ball movement again. Just 11 goals per game on the season, which was 43rd in Division I. Urksa takes the shot, rings it off the crossbar.
And right now, Air Force is playing a zone defense, which to me, I think it indicates, hey, we don't think we have the athletes to stay with Maryland, but Maryland's getting everything they want on offense right now. Right, and where I think Maryland is better is maybe not on the athleticism side, it's on the stick skill and the team offense and the sets that they have, and that plays into zone offense. And so far only 2 goals, but they've gotten high quality shot after high quality shot.
Yeah, if they're going to give Urksa and Kelly those looks from the perimeter, that's easy money for the Terps. 4 minutes in, it's Maryland 2, Air Force nothing. Air Force played Ohio State on the road back in February, lost by 6, 17-11. They also played at Duke, lost by 5. McNaney makes the save. Air Force maintains on the offensive rebound. Goal line extended. Alex Stepney on that second Air Force midfield line. Stepney, the senior from Connecticut. Set it up. Yago fakes the shot. Now Alex Rismani, freshman from Denver. Down to 15 on the timer. Maryland defense holding its shape. Single digits to shoot for Air Force. Something toward the cage. That's a reset on the save by McNaney, and Air Force wins the backup.
And that's a good offensive possession for Air Force. They need this game to shrink. And so they need to have long, drawn-out possessions, make Maryland work on the defensive end. The tough part there is McNaney's so good in the cage that you're going to be taking outside shots.
Yeah, he's hard to beat from out there. But especially on a hot day like this, the longer you can make them play defense, the better your chance to beat it. Another shot, another backup for the Falcons. McNaney standing tall. Logan McNaney, the top goalie taken in the PLL draft Tuesday, number 11 to the Denver Outlaws. And when their head coach, Tim Sudan, was talking with Dana Boyle on the set after he made the pick, he said, we might not see him until after that scrimmage Monday of opening week, because that's the weekend after Memorial Day weekend when McNaney and Maryland hoping to play in the championship game. I think, again, we're looking at the shot clock. And again, we'll have a conference between officials.
How much time do we need?
They're trying to identify how much time is left on the clock. Born identity.
That's fine. Can we fix it, or do we get
Give the first one an A, that one more of a B minus.
Stretch, maybe?
Yeah.
Go to your sideline. Coach, we got to get the shot clock reset. If it's going to be prolonged, then we got to do it back. We're going to try to reset it. It's an official's timeout.
All right. An official's timeout to get the shot clock sorted out. Air Force has already taken 4 shots on this possession. Officials will deliberate. I'll take a look. They've got that glare protector over the screen. A sunny day here in College Park. You make the call at home.
Okay, so that'll be 47 with shot clock when you come out. The shot clock right now is malfunctioned. We're looking to get it reset.
About 45 or 46.
If we get the shot clock fixed, when we come out, 47. Okay.
So it's going to go to 47 when the shot clock starts working again. Yeah, some issues with the clock system internally here at CQ Stadium. Bill Wilson talking with his guys. You know, these Air Force players and cadets will not be intimidated by anything. I mean, you think about the lives they lead, being a student, being an athlete, and being in the military. I mean, all these guys have their own cadet squadrons. Their goalie, Jake Merrick, is a squadron commander at Air Force. I mean, the type of schedule these guys maintain, the type of discipline it requires, even to just sign up to go to Air Force and play lacrosse, let alone make it to your senior season. Very impressive.
So many teams, and you just knew that was going to be the matchup. You know, if Notre Dame had won in the ACC tournament, had beaten Syracuse, they would have been seeded. Ohio State would have avoided them. But in general, you have to beat the best team to win, right? And Ohio State, that's a tough round, tough first round, but they had a great season. Notre Dame is a loaded team. Like, that's a 50-50 type game, right? Ohio State beat them in the regular season. Notre Dame came out today and played awesome lacrosse and really dominated. Pace of play, possession, and then on offense, we're able to be patient and get kind of more opportunities than Ohio State was used to giving up.
Yeah, I don't think anybody wants any part of Notre Dame right now. Penn State and Jeff Tambroni's Nittany Lions will take them on in the quarterfinals next week. Here in College Park, this clock situation is a complete disaster. We're going to take another break and hopefully have it resolved when we get back.
College sports fans, get ready for game day with the officially licensed merchandise from the NCAA official online shop. Shop NCAAsports.com. Get the whole family geared up with the best collection of apparel and accessories, including t-shirts, sweatshirts, headgear, championship gear, and more. Visit the NCAA shop for today's special offer and rep your favorite team now. Only at shopNCAAsports.com.
I bought my first model car when I was 8, but it wasn't just a toy. It got me interested in Hondas and the LA car community and was something I was always working toward. Now I own my own Honda, but I've been picking up more models along the way. I collect hundreds each year, giving them out and donating them to toy drives, hoping to be as helpful to kids finding their passions as my first Honda was to me.
To get a great deal on the helpful Honda that is right for you, search your local Honda dealer today.
blind spot that's never out of sight. How it should be. The Hyundai Tucson.
Now for a limited time, get a Hyundai Tucson for 3.99% APR for 72 months. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today.
Subway is the place to fill up on all the good stuff. Every irresistible sub is packed with tons of crispy, crunchy veggies. And you can plus it up with even more fresh flavor with Subway's irresistible signature sauces. And check out all the fresh sliced meats they're packing into every sub, like the footlong BMT with a whopping 54 grams of protein. And now buy any footlong in the app for just $6.99. Great bread, great meat, great sauce, great deal. Get on it, people. Order now on the Subway app.
Welcome back to College Park. The Division I Men's Lacrosse Championship continues next weekend on the ESPN networks with 4 quarterfinal games. For more information, go to NCAA.com, your official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. Long delay here at CQ Stadium. Trying to figure out the shot clock and game clock. The good news, Matt, is when we were in that break, we saw them actually stop the shot clock at 44. So I guess that's promising, but
just hope that's the right number.
I think it was. I think they were looking for 47. Right? Hey, there we go. It's back to 47. All right. Might be ready to resume action here as the officials talk with Air Force coach Bill Wilson. I mean, we're looking at probably about 15-minute delay here, Matt. As a player, what are the keys to staying fresh? What would you do in this situation?
It's tough, right? I would just be out running around, throwing the ball, even getting line drills going again. Right, like I don't think you change strategies yet, right? You're not powwowing as an entire team figuring out, hey, what do we change, what do we not? But it is tough to start and stop. And oftentimes it can create or provide an opportunity for the offensive set, right? And so here, let's see if Air Force can take advantage of this with 47 seconds on the shot clock.
Well, let's see what they drew up in that 15-minute delay. They've already taken 4 shots on this possession. Hallelujah. We're playing lacrosse again. The shot clock was at 47. And now it winds. Maryland with a 2-goal lead more than 5 minutes in this first round matchup. On the alley dodge, it's Wes Peen, 6'4" senior midfielder, 56 in black and blue. Now from the far side, dodge to the middle of the field, and the shot goes wide from Josh Iago, their top point scorer with 70 on the season.
You can just see Iago and how explosive he is as an athlete. Rumors are he may have earned the opportunity to go get a further education degree. As still being a member of the Air Force unit, he will be a popular name in the transfer portal when that opens up.
And speaking of Wes Peen, who just took that shot, number 56, as Coach Bill Wilson told us, he's going to Columbia next year. Shot clock down to 5. Air Force needs to take the shot. They do. McNaney saw it all the way. Kalen Driggs just had to beat the buzzer. Air Force took 7 shots on that possession and did not score.
All shots I think Maryland's comfortable giving up. I mean, my takeaway on that possession for Air Force is going to be tough to win the one-on-ones. I think Iago is probably your best bet in terms of creating separation. And I think that's okay for them because then Driggs, who's got the most goals for them, can do what he does best off ball and attack the opposite side of the field, right? He's not the initiator off the end line, one-on-one, here I go dodge. He is much better off of ball movement.
Well, speaking of ball movement, Maryland has been dialed in that department to start. Goals from Kelly and Spanos. In the crease. Someone from Maryland stepped in. That's their first turnover. Maryland with their 22nd consecutive appearance in the NCAA tournament, by far the longest in the country.
And look, I think that speaks to, as Air Force is offsides, something you can't afford. If you're Air Force, every possession matters, especially when you expect the field to be tilted towards the Terps most of the afternoon. But speaking of Maryland, I mean, Coach Tillman, I think if you ask most people in the know in lacrosse, like, you're picking one coach to win one game, 99 out of 100 are picking Coach Tillman.
Yeah, he has carried on and improved the legacy of this great Maryland program. Year 100 for Maryland playing lacrosse. They've been 500 or better, all 100. Incredible consistency. On the sweep to the middle, it's Matthew Keegan. Dispossessed, Urksa in the vicinity. Braden Urksa had his stick checked. Air Force creates the turnover. You talk about John Tillman. He knows what it's like to coach at a service academy. 12 years as an assistant at Navy before he became the head coach at Harvard. 3 years there, and then he took over at Maryland. Took the reins from Dave Cottle, who coached Bill Wilson, Air Force's coach, when he was a player at Loyola. The spider web of the lacrosse world, connections everywhere.
Look, I think there's a lot of coaches, you know, your senior class, you have 10 kids that graduate and you go in the offseason and like, oh my God, what are we going to do next year? Coach Tillman, it doesn't matter who's on their roster. He's going to figure out how to let them play their best brand of lacrosse, and that's why they're just so consistent and they never have down years.
And they had to reload this year, lost 7 of their top 11 scorers, lost Luke Weirman, their terrific face-off man, lost Ajax Zapatello, maybe the best defenseman in the country, and they've reloaded. Here they are, the 2 seed, forcing another turnover. That's 3 by the Falcons in this first quarter.
Air Force speeding up too much there. They get the ground ball. Yes, I love the idea of attacking quickly off a picked up ground ball, but that was a long pass. Very hard to execute. And just a careless turnover.
Second midfield out there for the Terps. Schultz, Stobaugh, and Aiken. Aiden Aiken with it right now. 2 in white and red. Over to Schultz, the freshman from Ridgewood, New Jersey. Now Spanos, 100 points in his Maryland career. With that goal earlier in this quarter, became the 64th Terp to hit that number. Urksa from X, bad pass, intercepted by Air Force. 3 possessions in a row have ended in a turnover for Maryland.
What about Air Force here? You spin the ball, work some clock, and again, I'm looking for number 10, Josh Yago, to be the party starter.
That was a great play by Charlie Pfeiffer, the short stick D-Midi on the other side to intercept that pass from Urksa. Air Force initiating. Half the shot clock is gone. Starting from a long way away, but a great feed in front, and Air Force is on the board.
And what a pass right there from Rusmani.
And it's Stadelmeyer on the finish.
And then just the nice face dodge, the patience, right? Really doesn't move his feet. You see how quiet his feet were, right? Takes the appropriate 1-2 step. And they get the first goal. To get within 1.
Ryan Stadelmeyer with his 22nd of the season, the junior from Midland, Michigan. And Rusmani, the freshman, with the assist. That's a long pass from Rusmani. Had to get through a lot of traffic to find Stadelmeyer, who finished it off nicely. And the Falcons within 1. Here comes Zach Whittier. Hit it through X and Daniel Kelly. Now Matthew Keegan, the transfer from Binghamton, who scored 30 points this season for Maryland. Another transfer, Bryce Ford, running out of the box from Fairfield.
And this is when Maryland's at their best, moving the ball through X.
Yeah, it just feels like anybody on the field is a threat right now.
I mean, their secret sauce is the number of hockey assists they generate as an offense. The ball moves so quickly off a dodge, and then they time their cuts so efficiently.
Here's Ford on the dodge. Now Whittier's at X, feeds Spanos in front, shot off the side of the net. Good physical defense from Air Force.
But again, that's Maryland's O. just doing a nice job attacking from the high wings and getting it through X and then finding the inside crease man, and that time was Spanos, who could have been pushed in the back there. Air Force did a nice job clamping down. But again, good offense from Maryland.
It was their first shot in 8 minutes.
And Air Force, who showed zone early, has moved away from that and is back to man-to-man. I think it's just the better play for them. I think a zone plays exactly into who Maryland is and what they do best.
And Bill Wilson's team can do both. You know, for Maryland, obviously, being the 2 seed is an advantage, but they didn't know who they were playing until Wednesday night. So John Tillman and his staff, which watches a ton of film, they got a head start on Monday. And then the players got into specific opponent scouting on Thursday. After the Maryland takeaway, their 4th of the first quarter, coming up on 2 minutes left in this opening frame.
Couple careless turnovers from Air Force.
You just can't do that against
Look, you'll take turnovers if it's aggressive and you're trying to force the issue, but just simple exchanges like that off the initial dodge, those are just devastating, especially when you're playing a team that may have superior athletes.
Yeah, you don't have the margin of error against this Maryland team. Playing a little hangman. Kelly trying to get his hands free. More good defense from the Falcons. They've really locked up here. Merrick goes down to his knees to make the save. The squadron commander has his first save of the afternoon. Now Air Force on the clear. Merrick looking for an outlet.
They're in trouble here.
Yeah, they didn't get it across. 22nd violation against Air Force. 5 turnovers on the Falcons.
And they're going to have to pick them up. A nice job. I believe that was Wells Flynn.
Yeah, George Stamos, 54 in white, was trying to take the shot. Air Force with the stick check to force the miss, and Bill Wilson will take his first time out of this first half. Both teams return to their respective huddle in this marathon of a first quarter, which has taken over half an hour thanks to a brief delay from the shot clock. So for Air Force, we talked about how it's been a busy week. They were in Florida for the ASUN tournament last weekend. They beat Jacksonville. They beat Utah. Went home that night, Sunday night. Traveled to Pittsburgh Tuesday morning to play Robert Morris. Win that game Wednesday night. And then Thursday is when it started to get really interesting.
Awesome opportunity for Air Force. Again, though, does that wear on you traveling that much, right? You're playing a Maryland team that's loaded, and you need to have everything in the tank. That is a lot of travel, but ultimately, I think great for the team, great for the young men. And they got to take a look at where an NFL future draft will be here in Washington, D.C., in the nation's capital.
And if any team is suited to handle all the distractions and take it in stride, it's probably a service academy like Air Force, right? Bill Wilson was telling us that when they have the ability to play their sport, they got the bright, energy-filled part of the day. You can see the sparkle in their eye. They're trying to pull the upset here against Maryland. Winner of this one gets Georgetown in Annapolis next Sunday in the quarterfinal. Syracuse and Harvard is our next game here on ESPNU. Winner of that one takes on Princeton. Georgetown looked dangerous last night. They looked like one of the best teams in the country.
Yeah, I don't know what they had in their Wheaties, but since they played Denver, where they scored 3 goals, they have been on an absolute tear. And that wasn't a fluke. I mean, from the first whistle, they took it to Duke athletically, in the cage, face-offs. I mean, it was a masterclass for Coach Warren and that Georgetown Hoyas team.
And Aiden Carroll is just smoking hot.
6 straight goals.
Yeah, unconscious. He had 8 goals in their Big East championship, and then 6 goals in the first round against Duke, one of the best teams and defenses in the country. Maryland is going to take a lead in all likelihood to the second quarter. The shot clock is off. Shot clock earning itself a well-deserved rest at the end of this first quarter. Here goes Spanos, just playing bully ball. What a finish from Eric Spanos. Put him in the weight room at 6'5", 220.
Eric Spanos, the senior, just using brute force. He played at Malvern Prep. And if you look at all the top rosters in college lacrosse, it seems like 50% of them played for Coach McGreedy's at Malvern Prep. Eric Spanos has been a tough matchup, just given his size.
He just moved Charlie Pfeiffer. It's Hames and Keithler for the faceoff. Maryland with one last chance. 10 seconds left in the first quarter.
This could be crippling if Maryland's able to find the back of the net here at the end of the quarter.
5 seconds. Urksa scans, trying to find Kelly on the crease. Out of bounds it goes. Into the second quarter we go with Maryland on top 3-1. Eric Spanos using his physicality and skill. 2 goals in the first quarter after he was 2 for 21 shooting in his last 3 games. Bringing his A game, so is Daniel Kelly picking a corner. Maryland's attack has accounted for all 3. They lead by 2 as we go to the second.
I teach the art of fanology, a job I take seriously. As to the question of nature versus nurture, is a fan born or is a fan made? I know this. Our game can make a fan out of anyone. And at Fandom U, we take it to a whole new level. The NCAA Championships. Attendance is encouraged, passion is mandatory. Buy your seats today at ncaa.com/tickets. Class dismissed.
Businesses are the backbone of our communities. And Bank of America
has just gone to another level over the last few years.
You know, Bryce Ford is a natural lefty. Did that all with his right hand. He's played a bunch on the right side this year for Maryland. Playing midfield for the Terps, played attack at Fairfield. Transferred in, and he's shown you his malleability. Why he got drafted in the PLL.
And these are the ground balls that Air Force needs to win. Maryland's going to make them earn it.
That's what they do. Air Force walks it into the offensive side. Maryland has won 5 of 7 faceoffs so far. Seen a lot of Shea Keithler. Expect to see some Jonah Carrier as well, the freshman from Rochester, 28 in white, but so far all Keithler. This is Mana Wilhelm, sophomore from Florida, sweeping across, making the feed. Yago's shot goes wide, backed up by Driggs. Josh Yago, 70 points this year, 34 assists, a program record for a single season. This is the second meeting between these schools in the NCAA tournament. Another save from McNaney. You're not beating him from that angle.
Look, I think Maryland, again, we talk about how well they're coached. See, look, that shot probably looked like a better opportunity than it was, especially when they give up low angle, and Logan is so good in the cage playing the pipes and the angles. He's making that save 98% of the time.
Toward the middle, the lefty hammer from Elijah Stovall. Missed it, and it's backed up by Air Force. The goalie, Jake Merrick, wins it. Merrick majoring in biochemistry at Air Force Academy and heading to the University of Virginia Nursing School after this year. It is an impressive group of young men in this lacrosse program at Air Force. mentioned they met in the tournament before. Go back to 1971 when the Terps beat the Falcons 10-1. That's the second meeting of all time in the tournament. Here's Iago. They want the ball in his stick. Now Stepney. Back to Iago, 20 yards from the goal. Shot clock down to 20. Trying to set up a two-man from behind the goal. Maryland's defense keeping them away from anywhere they can make something happen. Spin it through X again. Kalen Driggs makes the move around the crease. Maryland wins the backup. A Superman dive from the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year, Will Schaller, 27 in white. McNaney critical on the clear. And Schaller pops it ahead to Thomas Gravino.
Schaller shaking out his hand on the defensive end after that pass.
Yeah, Schaller critical to Maryland's defensive integrity. Stobaugh again with the lefty rip. Shot clock to 40 as Kelly will trigger from the end zone. Jake Merrick, the 5'8" senior, mans the crease for Air Force. 4 minutes into the second quarter, Maryland with a 3-goal lead. Nice save by Merrick.
What a save. That was off a deflection as well.
Yeah, Aiden Aiken almost beat him 5-hole.
Just Air Force making life hard on these clears.
Another turnover.
Maryland will make you pay.
That's 6 turnovers for the Falcons already. And their coach, Bill Wilson, told us, say, look, Maryland's not a team that, you know, when you think about transition, play fast, play hectic, Maryland's not the team you think of. But when you give them some daylight, they will step on the gas pedal. He's got to be frustrated with his team. 6 turnovers. Margin of error razor thin against the 2-seed Terps. Right back to that ball movement. Boomerangs around the perimeter. Urksa scans, gives it up to Kelly. Now it's Ford's turn. Already has 1 goal dodging from this spot. Urksa picks it up, shoots, missed it. Shot clock down to 29 as Whittier will start with it. Urksa doesn't have a point yet, but probably a couple hockey assists.
Now Maryland's got you where you want. They want you.
Yeah, collapsing the defense. Urksa lost the ball, though.
And I'd love to see Urksa just let that one go. Their 4th turnover, but good offense for Maryland. They found Urksa with a step down. Sometimes you just got to let it fly.
And number 11 in black and blue, Cole Cunningham's been involved in a couple of caused turnovers already. He's first team all ASUN. Air Force threatening. That shot goes high and wide from Wilhelm. There is Cunningham. 83 ground balls, 17 caused turnovers. Both lead the team. Falcons just 1 for 12 shooting, and they might not even get one off here. Peen gets off the deck and maintains possession.
Iago's going to have a favorable matchup here if Air Force can get the ball up to him. He needs to call for it here.
Yeah, Drake's still carrying. Iago defended by the short stick. Now they do get it to him with 13 to shoot. Eric Kohler trying to match up with Air Force's top scorer. Now got the switch onto Jack McDonald, also a PLL draft pick. Iago looking to get the hands free. Good luck in that matchup.
Maryland's defense just fundamentally sound, but also super athletic, not giving Air Force an inch as they look to initiate their offense. And I really like what Maryland does here on that clear. They change the field of attack 2 times, so that there are 2 different cross-field passes, and when they go back away from the box, they're giving their defensemen 2 options. There's going to be someone going over the line right on the sideline, but they're also pushing someone up to the hash lines as well. And Air Force is in a tough place to see who they're going to guard. It's always a 2-on-1.
Shot clock down to 30, past the midway point of the second quarter. Urksa into the side of the net. Merrick out of his crease to retrieve it. And now Air Force will try to clear. It's a Maryland team with an opponent clearing percentage almost 92%. That's 70th out of 74 D1 teams in college lacrosse. But so far their ride has given Air Force issues. Not this time though, as Peen clears it.
And again, Maryland's not even 10-man riding. That's something Air Force needs to look at halftime. If they don't bump the goalie out of the cage, all it really takes is 2 changes of direction, shift the field twice, and someone should be open stepping over the midfield line.
Yago the feed. Driggs cashes in. That's been the duo all season for the Falcons. 10-1. Air Force back within 2.
Yago is most honest as he makes his pass. Behind X with his left hand to Driggs, who gets Air Force back within 2.
The NCAA, driving change to do more for today's student.
Jonah Carrier at the faceoff X for Maryland. Against Daniel Hames, and the Air Force senior wins it cleanly. Hames came in about 48.5% on the season. Expected to see a lot of him and Michael Frieri. So far mostly Hames. So far it's been mostly Maryland winning those faceoffs, but maybe Air Force can string a couple together here after the Driggs goal. They got it in the offensive side with 60 to shoot.
And it is one of maybe a downside of Maryland's pace of play is they're unlikely to blitz teams, right? To like really put quick goal after quick goal after quick goal and get out to big leads early. So while they, in reality, have been dominating this game, to be up only 2, maybe a little misleading.
The highest scoring game this year was 14 against Delaware. This team wins with defense. They win a lot of low scoring matchups. Here's Peen on the invert. The midfielder takes the shot, backed up by Yago. Wes Peen, 6'4", 232. Bill Wilson, his coach, says to move 230 plus around the field the way he does is incredibly impressive. He is an animal. Now Peen from out top. 10 seconds to shoot. Careless passing from Air Force. Picked up by McDonald, going the other way. Terps on the run. Spanos scores. And he's got a first half hat trick.
This all starts with solid team defense right here. McDonald with a nice check. He continues forward, and now they're in a fast break situation, and they get it to the point man, Panos. And the nice face dodge, and Spanos. Right, Air Force comes out recklessly. The nice composure, and nice finish to give Spanos the early hat trick.
And give Jack McDonald his 3rd assist of the season. Look at the shooting from Spanos. Dialed in today, 3 for 4 as Maryland opens up another playoff run. Last year the Terps entered as a 7 seed, rolled all the way to the championship again, lost to Notre Dame. Champions a couple of times under John Tillman in 2017 and 2022. Matt, does this Maryland offense have enough firepower to win another national championship?
I think they do. You know, I think it against a really good defense, right, could be hard. But they beat Notre Dame in the regular season. A lot of that was Logan McNaney stood on his head in that game. So I think they have enough of the pieces, and when you have a goalie who can erase a team and just be lights out on any given day, like, yeah, you can win a national championship. And oh, by the way, they probably have the best coach. So they got a lot of the pieces.
Serious pedigree with this program. Forward the feet in front, tapped home, Braden Erksa. Welcome to the box score, Braden Erksa. His 128th point of his Maryland career.
When we talk team offense, here it is. Maryland, more than any other team, gets the ball through X. It's been a trend in college lacrosse, in my opinion, where teams are not transferring the ball through X. And why that's so important is because when you get the ball behind X, right, when you catch it, you're now the quarterback. You can see everything in front of you, while the defensive players can't see what's happening behind them. And so you're able to pick apart defenses there, and Erksa does a nice job flashing to the backside and just tic-tac-toe passing.
Air Force violates on the face-off. Daniel Hames will have to sit out the next one. 2 goals in 1:07 for the Terps. And Erksa with a goal in 15 straight every game this season. Erksa, a kid from Marietta, Georgia, outside Atlanta. Took a prep year at IMG Academy. Aiken got his hands free, missed the shot. Erksa with the backup from X, just under 60 to shoot. 3.5 to play in this first half.
I think Erksa and Spanos can just do a nice job. Like, they're really kind of opposite players, right? Erksa more that shifty, quick player. Spanos, the big moose.
And then they got a sniper in Daniel Kelly. That one kicked off the goalie, Merrick. Kelly with his 2nd goal of the first half.
And just a nice 2-man game here. They don't talk through that kind of quasi-pick. And then Kelly just keeps running to daylight, increases his angle, does a nice job hiding his stick at the release point. Team offense is Maryland's calling card.
Three in a row, just like that.
Right when I said that, you know, they really can't blitz teams and put lots of goals up quickly.
It's in there. I mean, they're capable.
I just need to speak it into existence.
You need to jinx them. 5 of their 7 goals have been assisted. Daniel Kelly's highly combustible as McDonald comes away with another ground ball and a face-off win. Kelly had 5 goals on 5 shots against Penn State in the Big Ten tournament semifinals. 5 goals, a career high for Kelly. He's got 2 goals here in the first half today with 3 minutes to play in the second. At top midfield, jogs out there for Maryland. Keegan, Whittier, and Ford. Ooh, around the world from Spanos, who's feeling it. That's a bit of a heat check. He's got 3 goals today. Tall task for Jake Merrick today between the pipes. Ford spins it through X. Here's Erksa.
And they make you pay, right? If you at all show on that initial dodge, they're moving it to X. Now you're either caught up in front of the cage and they can pick you apart in the interior.
Like a set piece, ends up with Erksa. At X, his pass into traffic. Ball still loose. Picked up by Air Force. Here come the Falcons. Connor Albertson, the close defenseman Sends it into the offensive end. He'll stay out there and play Samo. They've got Matthew Keegan trapped out there. Now Albertson runs off. Inside of 2 minutes left in the first half. Maryland with a 5-goal lead. Air Force will look to Iago and Driggs. Here's Mana Wilhelm. Over to Luke Versansky. He's heated up lately as Air Force has gone on this 7-game win streak, including winning the ASUN tournament. Beat Robert Morris 14-9 Wednesday as Peen tries to shoot at lefty and McNaney's all over it. 4 saves for Logan McNaney. And he can go 10 minutes of game time without seeing a shot and not miss a beat.
But again, a nice job by Maryland's defense, forcing kind of a low-quality shot from Peen there, and that's the name of the game when you have a goalie that makes all the saves they're supposed to. They're going to be tough to beat.
Shot and game clock split by 3 seconds. Maryland can basically hold for the final shot of the first half. And they'll take a timeout. 2 timeouts per half in college lacrosse. John Tillman takes his first.
A nice timeout from Coach Tillman there, knowing that there's 40 seconds left and that they can effectively take the last shot of the half and not give Air Force an opportunity.
We'll mention this a couple times, but Maryland's 22 straight NCAA tournament appearances, by far the longest in college lacrosse. And we wanted to show it to you because it's one thing to hear it, it's another thing to see it. The second longest active streak for NCAA tournament appearances in Division I is Georgetown with 7. So Maryland 22. Georgetown is next at 7, and then Princeton with 4 right after that. The consistency of this Maryland program is really something to behold. It's not just that they're making the tournament, Matt. It's that they're usually like a top 4 seed.
Like every year you think, okay, this could be a down year for Maryland. They make the Final Four or win the champion. Like they just reload. And again, consistency starts at the top. Coach Tillman has these kids working around the clock in their craft. And that's why they are arguably the marquee program in college lacrosse, year in and year out.
And they've earned the 2 seed this year. The team that's right behind them, or I guess in a distant second in NCAA tournament streak, is Georgetown, their potential opponent in the quarterfinals in Annapolis next weekend. Upper half of the bracket, Cornell and Albany is our final game of the first round tonight at 7:30 here on ESPNU. Winner of that one takes on a dangerous unseeded Richmond team. Speaking of dangerous and unseeded, Notre Dame maybe as dangerous as anyone in the field after they dispatched Ohio State 15-6 today.
Before we get going here, I'd like to wish my wife Caitlin a happy Mother's Day. She's at home holding down the fort with our 4 little ones. It was a year ago. I actually did our gender reveal on national television for our 4th. Our little daughter Sloan, who's now 6 months old.
And are you going to do another gender reveal right now? No.
I think 4 is enough.
You're done with those?
Yeah.
Well, that's well said. Good job by you. A shout out to all the moms out there. Happy Mother's Day. Shot clock down to 15 for the Terps. And out of bounds, a turnover from Maryland. 6 turnovers in the first half. And another timeout. And John Tillman will take his second, just to set up this ride and maybe get another chance to make it a 6-goal game. As we get toward this part of the season, we get the Tewaaraton finalists. I mean, there's a heavy favorite on the men's side, certainly, and that'd be C.J. Kirst from Cornell. But there are 4 others Jackson Eicher from Army, incredible season for him. Army just barely missing the NCAA tournament. Sam King at Harvard got that last at-large spot. We'll see Sam King against Syracuse later today. C.J. Kirst, of course, the favorite, #1 pick in the PLL draft. And congrats to Coulter Mackesy, who just became Princeton's all-time leading goal scorer.
5 attackmen, 5 all-time players have made marks on their programs, but C.J. Kirst, I love his game. Like,
it's
big, physical. I mean, he shoots over 40%, right? Like, and you don't think of him as like, oh, his strength is like, he's this amazing. Yeah, he's everything. And what I love about him too is like, he's got that dog in him. Like any player, right? Like Brendan O'Neill, amazing talent, amazing player. Connor Schellenberger, like at the end of the game with 10 seconds left, there hasn't been a player, in my opinion, like since Pat Spencer maybe, who you give the ball at the end line and you like their chances. Like, hey, we're gonna make a goal here. Right? Like, teams can't guard him. He's too big. He's too physical.
So you're saying C.J. Kirst will be playing in the NBA in about 6 years?
Yeah. Well, he's definitely going to be playing in the PLL. And I said this the other day. I see him day one, top 4 attackman in the league. Like, I think he's that good a player.
Going to the Philadelphia Water Dogs. That was the easiest pick of the draft for Bill Tierney. We get to see C.J. Kirst tonight against Albany, 7:30 Eastern on ESPNU.
Uh-oh.
There it is. That's what they drew up at the timeout. The ride. Can they cash it in? And the halftime buzzer sounds. But for Maryland, 7-2. Logan McNaney, all smiles, coming up at halftime. Quint Kesnick's got a great feature on the illustrious career of Logan McNaney, wearing #1 for the Terps, and for good reason. 4 saves for McNaney in the first half, keeping Air Force to just 2 goals. Maryland head coach John Tillman joins us now. Coach, thanks for throwing on the headset. What do you make of that first half, entering halftime with a 5-goal lead?
A little sloppy early. First NCAA playoff game for some of our guys, so felt like we found our footing a little bit, but very choppy game right now.
Out there using his body and his athleticism with the first hat trick, and then his counterpart, Logan McNaney. He just fits the system, right? Like, their defense gives low-quality shots, nothing easy from the inside, typically pushing the outside, and if they're getting to the 5-and-5, McNaney's going to see the release. And again, just a clear save every single time, catches them clean, and creates transition.
4 saves for McNaney, just 2 goals allowed in the first half. And Maryland also dominating at the face-off X, mostly Shea Keithler, the junior from outside of Columbus, Ohio. Seven to 2 our score as we begin the second half. It's Jonah Carrier on the faceoff, the freshman from Rochester, and he wins it for the Terps. Looking to move on to the quarterfinals and face Georgetown next Sunday in Annapolis. He showed you Spanos with the 3 goals. Daniel Kelly's got 2. Number 45 in white and red. Kelly's been dialed in lately, 10 for 15 shooting in his last 3.5 games. And Braden Urksa, number 10, scored a goal in the first half as well. Here comes Jack Schultz, the freshman midfielder. Spin it through X for Spanos. Plays a little hangman. Maryland goes to this set piece. Everybody bunched up. Spanos surveying. Now gives it up.
Here's that ball movement. They move it so quickly, the exterior of these defenses, and they time their cuts as well as anybody. Just look at it. I mean, this.
Yeah, they stretch a defense and then puncture it. Ruthless offense, perfect execution. Spanos has another. I mean, he was wide open 10 yards from the goal.
But you just don't appreciate, right? It's those 2 rotations on the exterior of the offense that leads to that exact opportunity. They just move the ball in and out of their sticks quickly, and then Spanos steps to the middle of the field. Right now, Air Force doubles, and Spanos is wide open in the front. But again, like, that's a 50-second goal as a result of amazing ball movement. Too many teams, in my opinion, get in the offensive end. They try to do the substitution game. They spend 20, 30 seconds trying to initiate their offense versus make the defense work, tire them out. Moving the ball to the exterior, like that does something. It may look like window dressing, but it's not. It wears the defense down.
That wasn't just a step down. That was a walk down. I mean, he took 3-4 steps before he took the shot, and now 6 of Maryland's 8 goals assisted today. The other thing with Maryland is they win another faceoff, Matt. It's not like they're just standing around mindlessly passing the ball around the perimeter. You saw Spanos on the relocation there. It's a lot like basketball, right? If you want to be open, if you want to stress the defense, you got to move without the ball, and they do that.
Subtle two-man rotations, right? Like they're doing a lot of that to set up 15 seconds down the road. And no other team does that as well as Maryland does.
The offense doesn't put up eye-popping numbers. Again, just 11 goals per game on the season. Their highest total was 14 against Delaware. But it is hyper-efficient, and you pair that with the 3rd best scoring defense in the country. That's why they're a threat to win another national championship. Spanos again operates for Max. On the inside roll, Eric Spanos. Take 5 for the senior. He's got 5 goals in the opening round of the NCAA tournament, a new season high.
Coach Tillman, heading into the locker room, talked about his athletic physicality, but also his awareness of when to use it, right? That's the 3rd time today that, again, he takes that out. See how he attacks the outside shoulder of chairs on defense, right? It's that outside shoulder that opens him up, that now allows that inside roll to be so effective where he can step up the field and create angle, right? Like if he attacks Chair's inside shoulder, nothing happens. But when he hits him on the outside, he rotates its hip. That opens up the entire center of the field for Spanos, and that's his game, right? Not too many people bigger than him and as physical as him.
6'5", 220, Eric Spanos, the senior. Air Force wins the faceoff after Maryland had won 5 in a row. It was Jake Knapp, the senior. Well, they've got a steep hill to climb here. I mean, if you're Air Force, is it as simple as just get it to number 10, Josh Yago, and see if he can make something happen?
He's their best bet in terms of initiating offense. I don't think he's been involved in the 6-on-6 enough.
That's a really nice move inside. McNaney with a great save and then gobbles up the rebound. Denied Luke Versansky, who got himself wide open on the crease.
A great initial move for Versansky. I think he needed to take one more step. Again, Maryland does a nice job kind of clamping down, but he needs to take that one more step to greatness to create a better angle to beat a goaltender of the quality of McNaney.
That's 5 saves for McNaney, just 2 goals allowed. And Logan McNaney, who again earned the starting job right before COVID shut down the 2020 season and is still starting for Maryland. He's from the same hometown as the coach, John Tillman, Corning, New York, Crystal City. This is McNaney's 70th game playing for Maryland. Spanos just whistled it wide. There you see McNaney, 5'10" grad student. He's in a challenging and demanding applied economics program here at Maryland, a 2-year program. 11th overall pick in the PLL draft. He's got the world at his fingertips after he graduates. Hoping to continue playing for the Terps for at least a few more weeks. Here's Spanos. He has been so lethal from this spot all day. Again, rolls back inside, draws 2, draws 3, draws 4 off the crossbar, and it's put in on the rebound. Eric Spanos just sacrificed his body.
Right here, Spanos with the inside roll, a nice double, triple, quadruple team from Air Force. And Noah Armitage with the awareness, picks up the ground ball and puts in the back of the empty net.
And congrats to Noah Armitage, his first goal of the season. Transfer from Stony Brook makes it a 6-0 scoring run. Coming up on 5 minutes into this third quarter, this has been the most lopsided game we've seen so far in this first round. And a couple of unseeded teams win yesterday. Georgetown and Richmond, both winning in the Research Triangle against Duke and North Carolina.
You know what? 3 unseeded wins so far.
Notre Dame beating Ohio State today. That shot deflected before it reached McNaney. Almost swept out. It's enough for a shot clock reset back to 60 for Air Force. A couple more unseeded teams have a chance to add to that number tonight. Harvard in Syracuse, the 6th seed, and then Albany trying to pull off the shocker of all shockers against Cornell tonight at 7:30. Better ball movement here from the Falcons. More good defense from the Terps. The goal line extended. Stadelmeyer. There is a flag down against Maryland. Yago is down injured at 10 yards from the goal. Terps touch it, and that'll lead to the whistle as Zach Gorno, the transfer from Bowdoin College, picks it up. Concern for Yago here. Head coach Bill Wilson will stroll out to check on his top point scorer.
Okay. Come on, let's go. That's fine. Hey, Warren, you know I'm taking a slap, right? Hands game. I would agree. That is flat.
Josh Yago, a member of Cadet Squadron 19, Starship 1921. EM number 10 there. Oh, yeah, took it from both ends there.
Yeah, it kind of looks like I think the bigger issue is going to be his back. Kind of taking that shot. Nothing super. That's lacrosse. It's physical. A good take from him. But kind of got the barbell where he got hit in the back, or pushed from the back, and then rotates and actually took a direct shot to his spine.
So Air Force to the man up. Their first opportunity here today.
Maryland's extending out. This is when you actually have to move the ball even quicker if you're Air Force, right? I mean, look at Maryland's 6-on-6 offense versus Air Force man up here, right? Where's the ball moving faster? And that's not supposed to be the case when you have a man advantage.
There's a good pass. One more. For Air Force, keep an eye on 43 Mana Wilhelm. He's got 4 man-up goals this year, tied for the team lead with Driggs, number 1.
They're about to wear the shot clock down. Just not putting any pressure on Maryland's defense. Now, again, credit Maryland their approach to extend out. The one really good, high-functioning man-ups have that applied pressure. More often than not, they make you pay.
And drought has reached 13.5 minutes for Air Force as McNaney clears it, and the penalty is over. Next game up, Harvard and Syracuse, a rematch from the regular season. Crimson over the Orange. Merrick cleans it up for Air Force. The goalie is also a squadron commander at Air Force. Talk about a full-time job.
Just not realizing they have to get over the field.
Yeah, I got 2 seconds left. Wow, that's impressive. Hitting him on the run. Spin. Oh, look at McNaney. He just makes it look easy.
It's effortless. And again, he's so sound that actually, look, that was maybe more complicated, clear than it needed to be, but they generated a great opportunity. Got to change planes, right? If you keep it low to low, right? If we take a look on the left of our screen, love the setup, the roll. You got to move that one to the top portion of the cage, or McNaney's going to eat that up. He's got 7 saves here today, making the difficult look routine.
And when you talk to people about Logan McNaney, what really stands out is how even-keeled he is. When there are ups, when there are downs, he's almost immune to them. There's a sense that regardless of what happens, they're going to be okay because they've got that guy on the other end of the field. Spanos looking to get free. He's got 5 goals today.
But here again, it's that disciplined offense that Maryland just does so well. They never force the ball at the wrong time, right? They're always attacking at the right moments.
Some room, and that shot deflected, and Merrick backs it up himself. Jack Schultz looked like he had some space to get the shot away, but it was deflected before it even left his stick. And now can Air Force clear? It's been hairy the last couple of times. Air Force's last goal came with 6:37 left in the second quarter, 16 minutes ago. McNaney's made 4 saves since then. Again, McNaney in his 70th game playing for Maryland. 70 games in college. That is unheard of.
The Van Wilder of college lacrosse.
Yeah. Their all-time leader in saves and wins. There he is again, denying Wes Peen on a dodge down the left alley and then starting to clear himself. And the thing with McNaney is it's not just that he makes those saves, it's that he makes the clean save, which is so crucial for your transition offense and for your clear. That's 5 in a row for McNaney since he allowed that Drake's goal more than 16 minutes ago. Maryland's defense 3rd in the country behind only Army and Richmond in goals allowed per game during the season. They fit the bill today. Here's Ford on the rollback. Finds Kelly. That's his sweet spot. Matthew Keegan. Urksa scans back to Keegan, the senior transfer from Binghamton. Shot clock down to 10. A save by Merrick on the shot from Whittier. Ground ball picked up by Urksa. An offensive rebound for Braden Urksa. That's a backbreaker for Air Force.
Again, about Maryland here, I just execute the exact offense he just did. Take 60 seconds here, move the ball.
Or take that shot. Missed it wide. It was Matthew Keegan. Spanos with a backup, 50 to shoot.
Air Force is going to be exhausted on the defensive end.
Spanos, little ankle breaker move. Playing the 2-man with Kelly, who's got it now at X. Finds the open man. Fake the shot, take the shot, saved by Merrick, his 5th.
But it's, so that's the, like that is, I'm always so impressed. Merrick Spanos could have shot that, but he knew getting the ball through X was going to open up the other side of the field. That part of the game seems to have faded a bit from team offense. Right, it's a lot of 2-man game, pick games now, and Maryland can do that style of play, but man, they just love to run old school offense, 2-3-1, 1-4-1, getting it through X, attacking the backside.
There's Spanos behind the back shot. Stays with the Terps. Yeah, a lot about John Tillman's program. Old school. That is some old school smoke. Matthew Keegan.
What seemed like a 5-minute possession. Maryland finally finds the back of the net. Just relentless pressure applied. Line extended. Here they go in transition, but again, most of his offense coming in the 6-on-6. He's got range from the outside, but this is like he operates goal line extended. And with his size and subtle quickness, he's going to get to where he wants to get on the field. And that's a bad thing for any defense.
Spanos entered with 99 points in his Maryland career. He has crossed the 100-point threshold and then some. 64th Terp to hit the century mark wearing this uniform. Jonah Carrier violates with 2:30 to play in the third. Maryland on top by 9. So it's been Spanos offensively. He's been the headliner, but really it's the Maryland defense. Air Force's season low in goals is 7 against BU all the way back on February 22nd. They've got 2 with a couple of minutes to play here in the third. Josh Yago is back out there. Needed some help leaving the field a couple of minutes ago. Number 10 in black and blue. 70 points this season for Yago. 1 assist today. That's it. Here's Kalen Driggs. 59 goals on the season, including 1 today.
Great job.
Zach Gorno.
Defensively there for Maryland.
Let's go, Black! Come on, Black!
Gorno, 47, and White caused that turnover.
We go, Black!
Hey, tomorrow on NBA on ESPN, you got first up the NBA Countdown tipping off at 6:30 Eastern, followed by the Draft Lottery. There's Cooper Flag going maybe right here to Washington, D.C. Then it's Game 4 of the Eastern Conference semifinals between the Celtics and Knicks at 7:30 Eastern. Celtics trying to even that series up at 2. And then Game 4 of the Western semifinals between the Timberwolves and the Warriors. Matt Ward, I know you'd be stoked if Cooper Flag ended up in a Wizards uniform.
Some say it's the new title town here in D.C. or the emerging sleeping giant.
Yeah, a lot of people
professional sports.
Oh yeah, a lot of people talking about D.C. title town. Here comes Cunningham. Yeah, just a turnover from Air Force. Cunningham trying to make something happen. First team all ASUN. 11 turnovers for the Falcons today. Shot clock is off for Maryland. There's Urksa. Set up Spanos. Sharp angle. 6 goals for number 7. Eric Spanos pens a masterpiece in the first round.
And just a nice job stepping in. Air Force giving him too much space. The 3/4 release. He put some top spin on the shot, right? We watched the release. He's going to turn that wrist over. And on these turf fields now, you can actually spin the ball, which makes it that much harder.
You don't get no second chances in March.
It's win or go home. I knew that I was going to have to step up.
My teammates look to me to be a leader.
It's a sunny Mother's Day here on the campus of the University of Maryland, and all Terps through 3. 12-2 against Air Force. And we want to give some love to a recent Maryland lacrosse alum, Nick Manis, who's a captain on that 2017 national championship team. Good job by you, Nick Manis. Ran 100 miles and raised $140,000 for Parkinson's awareness and research in honor of his uncle, Brian Adam, a.k.a. Big B. He passed away from the disease about 1.5 years ago. Nick Manis, salute to you, sir. This Maryland lacrosse family watching with pride as their Terps just take apart the Air Force Falcons, and Logan McNaney, a big reason why. Another save denying Jake Knapp right off the faceoff. 9 saves for McNaney today. 6 in a row since he allowed the last goal. It came with 6:37 in the second quarter.
You can see here McNaney, more than any other goal, he just makes it look simple, right? Like the easy shots versus the hard ones, you can't tell, right? He just never loses his composure or his positioning in cage. His hands are so quiet. What a luxury it is to have as a defense. You don't have to take unnecessary risk because you know you have him in the cage.
Kelly couldn't handle the hot pass from Whittier. Look at Spanos on the ride. 6 goals today. Almost got popped for an offside. Spanos sold out to try to cause a turnover, and he'll jog toward the sideline. Still selling out. You got 6 goals. Your team's on top by 10 in the 4th quarter. And Spanos still sacrificing the body to try to make something happen. That's what be the best is all about. Yago from a tight angle beats McNaney, and Air Force has its first goal since midway through the second quarter.
And just a nice individual effort going underneath the pick. Josh Yago, right, drops his hands, rips it near side high. Again, the key to beating Logan McNaney in the cage is you gotta change planes. High to high doesn't work, low to low doesn't work. You need to make sure you change levels because his hands are so quiet.
Almost 23 minutes without a goal for Air Force. Yago takes matters into his own hands. Carrier wins the faceoff for Maryland. Ground ball scooped up by Thomas Gravino, sophomore from Victor, New York. On the split, it's Aiden Aiken. Elijah Stobaugh and Jack Schultz, second midfield out there for Maryland. Schultz on that long sweeping dodge, got to the left hand. 40 seconds to shoot on the backup. Here comes Aiken Jr. from Palm Beach, Florida. North Palm Beach, to be specific. Now it's Stobaugh, another Florida guy. Sophomore from Bradenton. Can't connect with Schultz.
I think it's smart of Coach Tillman, though, to really lean on the second midfield here. It's good exposure for them. It's good experience. As you make your way in the tournament, depth ultimately is oftentimes the difference between a win and a loss. Can your second-tier players make 1, 2, 3 big plays? The case of Notre Dame last year was, could they make 50 good plays per game because they were so loaded. Running a third midfield that would play. It's the first midfield on most programs.
What we saw from Notre Dame today, I mean, they are not to be messed with.
When they played their best.
Oh my gosh, McNaney, point blank, denies Ryan Stadelmeyer.
You have to change planes. He just matches you so well. He's too disciplined. his 10th save. That one probably the best on the day. But again, if you look into, we can see here, right, the feed to the crease, just barely moves his hands and catches it clean and allows Air Force to get out of the zone quickly.
But a failed clear, and then the Falcons give it right back. That should be a push, and it is. Ball stays with the Falcons.
We're talking Notre Dame, right? Like maybe Cornell's been the most consistent team in terms of putting 60 minutes together game after game, but if you look at Notre Dame and you watch them play their best, I don't know if there's a team better in the country than them, but can they do it for 4 games in the tournament for all 60 minutes? Because they're going to need to do that, because they're not quite as deep as they have been the last couple of years.
Notre Dame extremely impressive today. Georgetown, same story yesterday against Duke. Richmond picking up their first NCAA tournament win in program history. Penn State survives against Colgate. And Princeton hanging 22 on Towson. After this game, we'll have 6 out of the 8 quarterfinalists locked in on the bracket as Air Force commits an unforced error. Gorno comes away with it, and Zach Gorno hits it ahead. Maryland clears it. 12 caused turnovers by the Terps today.
It's interesting, right? You think of Cornell, you think of Princeton, those teams can score against anybody. The question is, how well will they face off? And can their defenses get stops? Right? Because it's not going to be a question if their offense is going to be able to do. It's going to be, are we going to get enough opportunities to beat a defensive Maryland, to beat a defensive Notre Dame, to beat a defensive Syracuse, right? Like, those are really lockdown defenses.
There's Ford, lost the handle, empty net. Zach Whittier's not going to miss it. Whittier's first goal today.
Right here, you have Bryce Ford, kind of with a dodge. The ball finds its way across the crease to Zach Whittier. He's wide open. And for good measure, pumps it in the net, 85 miles an hour to the top portion.
I think Merrick was trying to win the run out.
Right, he didn't know where the ball went. It was deflected from the shot of Bryce Ford. So I think he thought it was going behind the cage. He took himself out of position, and it just happened to go right to Whittier's stick with an open net. Bad break. But again, if I'm Maryland here, you may look to run second units, and that's what they've done here. Subbed in across the board.
And a new goalie from Maryland, Brian Ruppel, junior out of Catonsville, Maryland, who started some games for the Terps when McNaney had a knee injury a couple years ago.
Yeah, they're gonna be okay in the cage. Got a big time recruit coming from McDonough next year. Got Ruppel, who started almost an entire season for Maryland and was one of the better goalies in the country, quite frankly. So he's been patient. He's going to get his opportunity to make an impact.
Yeah, believe it or not, it actually was a competition between Ruppel and McNaney when Logan came back from the knee injury.
A couple years ago against Virginia, he single-handedly stole that game in Charlottesville, made 3 or 4 point-blank saves in overtime.
Now, you still have nightmares about it when UVA lost that game.
All of them.
Oh, what a day for McNaney, though. I mean, just yet another notch on his resume at Maryland. One of the best to ever do it in college lacrosse. He was as advertised today. It gives way to Ruppel as Maryland has pretty much taken the starters off the field. One other thing with Maryland, Matt, is this is their 15th game of the season. They've had the same starting lineup in every single game. They've been healthy. They've been consistent. John Tillman and his coaching staff know exactly what every player on the field is giving them at all times. That's how you end up with a 2 seed in the tournament. Yago's got it for Air Force. He scored their last goal. Finds Kalen Driggs, see if he can get himself untracked. And he does. Beats Rupel from goal line extended. An impossible angle for Kalen Driggs. Second goal today.
And just a nice effort from Driggs on the one-on-one matchup against Jackson Canfield, who's playing great defense. Not letting Driggs get topside, engaging at his hips, but Driggs from no angle extends his hands. It's right here as he gets to goal line. Gets Air Force on the board, 13-4.
On its way to setting up a date with Georgetown and Annapolis next Sunday. Syracuse and Harvard is our next game here on ESPNU. Mike Corey, Mark Dixon will have the broadcast from the Dome as Syracuse tries to avenge a regular season loss against the Harvard Crimson. And then our final game tonight is the top seed Cornell taking on Albany in a little upstate New York battle. But all Maryland here, including at the faceoff X where they're up 14-7. John Tillman has taken out many of his starters. Defenders still in there. Jackson Canfield was defending Kalen Driggs when he scored his second goal for Air Force to make this a 13-4 game, but now we're seeing a lot of Terps who might not get a ton of action. Noah Armitage, 16, scored his first goal of the year earlier today. Transfer from Stony Brook. Here comes Aiden Aiken. Being held. I mean, he just
haven't seen the jersey pull in a long time.
Yeah, there's your flag. It'll be on Cody Gross, the senior defenseman.
Take a look here. He'll play with his offhand, grabbing the jersey.
Why not?
Fortunately, not able to do that. I think he had lost grip of his stick towards the top portion, and figured I might as well grab on for the ride versus allow him to get topside in the most dangerous part of the field.
The flag's on Charlie Pfeiffer, 45. Maryland will go to the man up for the first time today.
30 seconds before holding with 6-1.
With 6.5 to play here.
And it's fun to see the second man up unit out there. You know, their job typically in practice is to be that scout man up to get your primary man down defense ready. In Virginia, they always called it the playpen. Let's get down there.
You were never in the playpen, right? You were always that top line.
I was jealous, though. Those guys had a lot of fun down there.
Man up is over. 10 seconds to shoot. Here's Stobaugh. Gonna get to the middle of the field now. Reverses course. That's a good move. Just missed the shot wide. 3 to shoot. Maryland will probably ice this ball and set up the ride. And that's what they do. John Tillman's team, a full field effort today. The headliners will be Spanos with 6 goals and McNaney with 10 saves and just 3 goals allowed. But it is a full team effort with this Maryland program. Scoring defense this year, 3rd best in the country. Only Army and Richmond allowed fewer goals. And Air Force does clear it before the shot clock hits 60. And that next game up, Harvard and Syracuse, Matt, do you think that the fact that they played in the regular season and Harvard beat them, does that have any factor in the tournament matchup?
Look, I don't think it has any factor in terms of giving one team like the mental up, like, hey, we're going to win this one. I mean, these teams are so close that anyone could win on any given day. I think scouting-wise and identifying, hey, maybe this is where this team was attacking us, like you can make adjustments. but I don't think it's a mental advantage for Harvard per se, because I think Syracuse just believes in their talent. Right, Syracuse lost to Duke in the regular season, and then came back and beat them in the ACC championship. The score was closer than the game was, so this is a Syracuse team that's playing with some confidence now.
Air Force just an unforced error there, throwing it over the midfield line. Can't touch it. Here comes Maryland. Terps look poised to set up a matchup with the Hoyas of Georgetown next week. For John Tillman, he just signed a contract extension through 2030 this week. We talked to him a little bit about adapting and maintaining the culture of Maryland lacrosse. He said, we try to over-communicate here. That's something that is working today, whatever they said. Jake Merrick with a great stop there on a point-blank shot.
Luke Ward there with the opportunity. He's got to take one more step. It's more often lacrosse, you have more time than you think. You can take that extra step. Maybe you get hit a little bit more, but it just improves your opportunity of putting the ball in the back of the net.
Iago searching, sets up Peen, puts the shoulder down. Physical dodger from the midfield, and it ends up with Rupel. I liked what John Tillman said. He said, as an older guy, I don't pretend to know what it's like to be a young person right now. I don't want to be this crusty old coach who's set in his ways. That it's important to listen to the players, try to relate to them. It can be as simple as taking them to Chipotle.
But think about, I mean, how hard that is to have a culture that perseveres, right? Like, everyone knows Coach Tillman, Coach Corrigan, right? Like, I mean, he's been at Notre Dame forever. And they're getting better every single, like, they're just hitting their stride now. Like, talk about being a student of the game and a leader of men. Like, you're never a finished product, right? And like Coach Corrigan obviously made changes in the system and the recruiting, and, you know, like, now they're probably the marquee place for college lacrosse. Like, he built it, and everyone's coming.
Air Force causes a turnover. Cody Gross out of the chute with it. You know, you say Coach Corrigan's been there forever. I think his hat has been there forever.
He wasn't wearing it today.
We didn't see it today.
Hey, maybe don't call him superstitious, but
yeah,
I don't know if we'll see it again, given how well they played today.
I don't know if he didn't have room in his carry-on or what, but no hat for Coach Corrigan today. Here's Driggs trying to make something happen. One more goal, he'd have a hat trick in 9 consecutive games. Kalen Driggs, 1 in black and blue. We're inside of 2 minutes to play in this fourth. Maryland putting the finishing touches on utter domination of Air Force, but give the Falcons a ton of credit for being here. That's a beautiful shot from Alex Stepney. Hides it in the top shelf.
And it's shots like this that you need to execute to beat these Maryland goaltenders. Got to change planes. Stepney right here, we're going to get a great angle. Low to high, near side. Just absolutely blows it by Brian Rupel and Cage, but not much that Rupel could do given the execution of that shot.
That thing came out like a Thunderbird at an air show. The gorgeous shot from Stepney, the senior from New Hartford, Connecticut. This Air Force team had won 7 games in a row to get here. I don't think a lot of people gave them a chance to be on this stage. They started 2-7. Rupel makes the save. Prevents a pole goal. After Panzik, 42 in black and blue, is looking for one for Air Force. Rupel slams the door, and Maryland can hold this ball, drain the clock, and move on to Annapolis. Collision, Pfeiffer put Aiken on the deck. There's a flag down. Should be Pfeiffer's second of the fourth quarter if Air Force even touches it. And the shot goes out of bounds, and now we'll get the call.
Oh, 30 seconds.
30-second hold against the Falcons. And Air Force to the man up. And it's just cosmetic here. Air Force's season will come to a close, and it was a terrific season, especially after April. This will be their first loss since March 29th at Jacksonville. For Maryland, the season will continue into the quarterfinals and potentially beyond, which is a springtime tradition here in College Park. Fittingly, it's Maryland ball movement that'll end this game and bleed this clock down to a 0-0. The Terps are headed back to the quarterfinal. It's where they belong, and the 2 seed takes care of business today against Air Force. Full domination, 13-5, Maryland wins.
From the opening whistle, Maryland came to play. They never gave Air Force